Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode, Sibling Rivalry.
Hey, we're live.
We're good to go.
All right, that's great. Welcome back, everybody. So I hope you've been listening to our content and enjoying. I hope you hit that like and subscribe. Hit the bell so you can hear when this goes up. And for today, I kind of want to take this episode to the wild side. I kind of want to go into that whole like spiritual and that whole awakening.
Okay.
So today's topic, we're going to talk about dreams.
Mm.
And lately I've been having a real hard time like falling asleep and
Okay.
actually getting into that deep sleep. So I've been watching because you made fun of me the last time I told you this.
Okay.
I've been watching on YouTube the spiritual music and you were like, oh, you're going all foo-foo on me. You're listening to the sauna music. And I was
Oh
like,
my
no.
gosh.
I'm trying really tapping into those frequencies to help you relax and help you tune your vibration to the universe and help you maximize your sleep and your dreams.
Okay.
So the last videos I started watching was lucid dreams, and those are the ones that are trying to help you figure out how to control your dreams.
Mm. I love being able to
So
control my dreams.
yeah, I know,
Oh, it's
right?
amazing.
And I think that's everybody. I think that's everybody. Everybody like wants to be in that moment, know that you're dreaming, and be able to control your dream.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is like, why is that? Why is it that we want to control our dreams?
Mm.
So first off, let's take a step back. Let's take it to the very first one. Why can't we control our dreams?
All right.
All right, let's analyze that, and then let's analyze why we want to control our dreams, and then we could go from there. I know we're gonna rant, so we'll talk about other things. We'll talk about real life dreams. How do you vision your dreams to make your reality come true? Your goals and your goals and your dreams come true. All right. So first question: why do you think it's so hard for us to control our dreams?
Well, I definitely think it has to do with our subconscious and our actual conscious.
Okay.
And while our body is in that dormant state, it kind of turns off like the conscious part of it, and your
Right.
subconscious automatically kicks in and takes over. So I
Okay.
think it's kind of like a play on power between the two.
Okay. Okay.
And I think when we do like remember our dreams, even it's because our conscious is kind of like, trying to take back that control.
Right. Right. I think it stems to the way we were raised and the way we were brought up, in the sense that we don't really we're not really taught to embrace the how do I phrase this? Embrace the uniqueness of our lives,
Mm-hmm.
Like we're not really taught. I mean, when you think spiritual, right?
Right.
The first thing that comes into your mind is religion, right?
Right.
And you think, oh, religion, and be it if you're Christian or Jewish or whatever your religious background is,
Mm-hmm.
but that is your only real gateway into spirituality, right?
Right.
So, we really don't think about how we're all connected, how we're connected with life, the universe, each other, animals, plants, everything that's around us. And it's almost like it's a latent hidden ability for us to be able to um control our dreams in that spiritual manner, because like I said, we're not taught to embrace that.
Yeah. I mean, even, if you take a step back from that, we're not taught to focus our brain and our energy at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that it's like a coming of age kind of thing where you have to realize like, wow, just take a look inside and see like, I'm not really controlling my brain. I have like random thoughts popping in and out.
Right.
If I'm like given a task, I can complete that task, but I'm not really, you've never really been taught to look inward and learn how to guide your thoughts.
You know what you just said? You said meditation.
Yeah,
Like we're not taught to meditate. We're
we
not
are
taught to
not.
take a moment and actually focus and see what's that underlying issue within our brains. It's funny because I'll use a great analogy. Like you're driving in your car,
Hmm.
and for most people, when the check engine light comes on, we go see a mechanic and we're like, hey, what's wrong with my car, right?
Right.
And they'll run the diagnostics, the little code machine, and the little code will come out CO2 or whatever, and boom, that's what you have to fix, right?
Hmm.
However, we don't do that with our lives. We don't do that with our brain. We don't actually say, hey, you know, my check engine light is on. I'm feeling off. I'm feeling depressed. I'm not really feeling myself. I'm feeling emotional. What's going on? And then you take
I
the
like that
20 minutes
analogy.
to meditate, right? And through that meditation, that's the diagnostics to see where in your brain you have that check engine light. And
Wow, I really like that concept.
yeah, so it's like we don't take that time to dive into ourself. And this all goes back to taking care of yourself, loving yourself, right?
Hmm.
So it's like, how do we reflect? How do we listen to, like, we'll listen to our physical body when we're overtraining and saying, oh man, I pulled something, or oh, I pulled my back is hurting, or I lift too heavy, or I need to give myself some time to rest so I can recuperate from this workout, right?
Right.
But we won't do that with with our everyday lives and all the stress that we're feeling.
Mm.
Like, seriously, the last few days I've been really trying to focus on telling myself that I'm going to dream tonight and I'm going to control my dreams.
Hmm.
So it hasn't really been working. I think maybe one, I was like, oh, wait, nope, no. So I'm somewhat frustrated in the sense that I can't, control this.
So, do you think that maybe you're trying to run before you walk?
Um,
Let me ask you, do you meditate?
Occasionally, it
Okay.
depends.
How long have you been meditating? Like, not length of meditation, but like, how long have you been open to this whole idea of meditation?
It's been a while.
Okay.
It's been a while, and just like everything else, it comes and goes. It's like it's like your fad diets. Like, I'll be very motivated to do it, and then I'll be consistent with it, and then I'll fall off.
Right.
And then I'm like, you know what? Let me start doing it again, because I do like the fact, like, it's very beneficial. I can't really say anything negative about it. You're
Hmm.
taking 20 minutes for yourself to reflect, and it has so much benefits as far as just being able to address the underlying issues that I may have, that may be causing me stress.
Yes.
Especially in this time right now, with everything that's going on in the world. you know um it's a great time to meditate and realize that um all the current issues that are going on, you have no control of it.
Hmm.
And the way the landscape is shaping right now, you got to take it day by day. So there's no point in really stressing about anything other than taking it for today, right? Life's not guaranteed. Every day that you wake up, that's a blessing, right? That's a day of extra life, and take it for what it is, right? So the best way to help you be in the present and help you focus on today and only today is through meditation.
Right. So meditation for me is actually it's not a new concept, but it's something that I've recently started, focusing time and energy on. Um and so I really don't have too much input as far as the meditation piece.
Right.
But over the last maybe 2 years, I've been focusing a lot on just clearing my mind,
Mm,
just silencing my mind and just getting it to a point where I don't have a million thoughts running through it.
right.
I'm not just humming a random tune in my mind. I've been clearing my mind. And what's helped me do that and take that control is yoga.
Right.
Because so for me, you focus on your breathing. And I guess, like this is my entry into meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Because I focus on my breathing and I'm learning how to clear my mind and I'm asking these thoughts to come to me. Because,
Right.
something I often say while I'm practicing yoga is, like allow me to like clear my mind and allow, old memories that I forgot I have to just kind of like pass on
flow
by,
in,
say
flow in,
hello.
and set a reminder as far as like, hey, you remember this?
Yes.
And that's sometimes that's what your subconscious is trying to bring you back to.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of like, how do I explain it? So a lot of our memories, like our fondest memories, most people have fond memories of when they were a kid.
Mm-hmm.
If they had a normal childhood, that's where their fondest memories are.
Right.
Why is that? It's because you were at your most adventurous, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were at your most innocent, right? You
Mm-hmm.
were at your most in tune with life and the universe at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until you actually started getting older and getting a little more jaded with life that you actually started getting disconnected.
Right. You start learning the concepts of the people around you.
Right. Right. You start getting, you learn the concepts of betrayal, right? You start
Mm-hmm.
learning the concepts of, trusting and not trusting certain people, right? You learn how to, I hate to say it, but you get played. In
You
life,
learn
you
how to
get
protect
played.
yourself. Mm-hmm.
Right. So, but with protection, you're always on the defense. So though you learn a life lesson and you grow in the sense that, hey, you know, um, I'm protecting myself so that I don't get played again, you become a little jaded and you become defensive.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go down that path, you start getting away from the things that used to make you innocent, which was that sense of adventure, that sense of I could do anything.
That
It's all
curiosity,
right,
that
that curiosity, that
yes.
invincibility. Like I look at my youngest, and that kid thinks he can do anything. He
Mm-hmm.
thinks he can fly. He thinks he can fight. He thinks he's a superhero. And I love that because I'm like, he's untouchable. In his mind, he's untouchable. He can do anything until life smacks him in the face and says, no, you can't.
Right.
And I know he's going to get to that point someday, and it makes me sad. But until then, I feel like I'm learning from him because I'm like, yo, I need to get back to that.
Yes.
I feel like I want to just imagine. Like, you remember when we were kids and all the stuff we used to do when we were kids, when we were
Yes.
playing,
We
when
had
we used to
some
play.
crazy childhood games.
Do you
You used to
remember?
pull me on like a blanket up and down the hallway.
Yeah, or we would set up the mattress, and I would just throw you into the mattress, and we
Oh
would
my
just like
gosh.
the couch was. Can you name all the things the couch were? The couch was like it was a boat, it was a bus, it could have been a castle, it could have been anything,
Anything.
and we were constantly just on and off that couch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just with that imagination and that whole like we wouldn't. I mean, we would go for hours. No TV, no video games, just our imagination
Imagination.
between
Yep.
the two of us. Like it was almost like, man, we still had that today. Do you know the mega $1 million movies we would be making right now? We could just go with it, and it was like the ability to riff from each other. Like, I would start saying blah 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 blah, and then you would take it blah 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 blah, blah, and then the next time blah 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 blah,
Yes.
and before you know it, 2 hours in, we had this whole epic journey
Yes.
that we went
Just an
to in our
elaborate
living room.
plot.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like that's exactly what like I'm trying to get back to, because if I could do that in my dreams, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I can control my dreams and make this elaborate journey that I go through in my dreams, then maybe I can transfer that in my real life
Mm.
and kill the mundane.
Right.
Kill the monotony of it all, right? Killed, make it like in one of my men's group that I'm in, one of the guys was like, you always have to be on your mission. And he was like, you got to be like James Bond. And just like he has these missions where he has to spy and he has to go and over here and he has to stop the bad guy and all this, he was like, give yourself those missions. Give yourself that imagination. And everybody, somebody else was like, isn't that just you being on your purpose? And he was
Mm-hmm.
like, no, 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 no. Because he was like, you can have little things that help you. Like, you could always have your little goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or your life goals. So I want to get in shape. I wanna dress better. I wanna, make a certain amount of money. I wanna do this. You can always have those. But what's your mission? Like, what's your calling? What's your purpose, right? What's your being? What is your role?
Yes.
And this goes back to what I was, what we were always talking about, as far as life is just a game,
Hmm.
right? So if life is just a game, how do you want to play it? Do you want to be a race car driver? Do you want to be an international spy? What do you want to be? And so he
Ooh.
he gave an example. He was like, with the crisis that is going on right now,
Hmm.
he actually got on his bike last night. He lives in a city, so he got on his bike last night and he was doing recon just for himself. He was driving around, seeing how, just getting a feel of the land, right?
Right.
And he said he divvied up his city into 4 quadrants,
Hmm.
and because gas is so cheap, he was just going to every aspect of the whole city and actually gauging and doing recon. So like, no shit, he was living in a real life video game.
That's awesome.
Like, he was living GTA or whatever whatever game you want to talk about. But that's what he did in his life. That's what he did in his head,
Hmm.
and it just gave him a reason for being on a Wednesday evening, right?
See, like that whole concept to me is just like, I don't know, it doesn't really resonate with me. I don't think I've ever experienced anything like that. And I don't think my imagination will allow me to. I think that the constraints of my imagination have become so limited that in my mind, it's like, psh, that's a waste of time.
But see, but that's how we're programmed, and that's what I'm telling you. That's why when we're growing up, we're not connected to the whole spiritual and the whole the lucid, and just like, um how do I phrase it, the whole, if it's not structured in our lives, we're
Hmm.
not doing it, right?
Right.
Like, from the age of 5 to the age of 18, we got to go to school,
Hmm.
and we got to think with our, what is it, the left side of the brain, where we got to be logical, and we got to
Hmm.
solve problems, and we got to, we got to study history, and we got to understand, how the country works, and we got to understand how, how to communicate. You got to write, and then you got to read, and you got to do all this stuff, right?
Right.
But nobody ever tells you, we're gonna have story time, or we're gonna have improv, or we're
Mm.
gonna have meditation, or we're gonna talk about theories. We're gonna talk about space. We're gonna talk about, even the afterlife.
Right.
That's like a real taboo subject, to talk about death
It
and
is.
dying, and where do you go after this? You know, but all of this, all those topics, they really do not have structure because they haven't been defined. We really don't know. It's all our theory. It's
Hmm.
all it's all our imagination. It's all what we think it is, but nothing is defined.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying?
I do.
And that's like, we live in that life, except for the people who think outside the box, except for the people, who are artistic, who, are, your artists, your singers, your creators, who actually go and create content. They can think outside the box.
Okay. So like I got into like dreams because also when you remember a dream in the morning, you think about like how wild and crazy and like outrageous it was. So I got into dreams. I grabbed a couple books and I started reading about like different symbols in dreams and what they mean. Um, but there's not a lot out there that really shows you how to tap into that. And I guess that's like, I don't know. I think that really is where meditation comes in. So
Right.
maybe it's not that you need to learn how to control your dreams while you're asleep. Maybe you need to learn how to control your mind while you're awake so that you're in a meditative state. There has to be a sweet spot where your conscious and your subconscious can communicate with each other in like the natural way that it's meant to.
Well, dreaming, I agree with that, because you don't have to just dream when you're sleeping. There's
Hmm.
a reason why it's called daydreaming, right?
Right.
And a lot of people who believe in what's the terminology for when you speak it into
Speaking
reality?
into existence.
Yes. Well, a lot of people who do that, who live in the abundance and believe that the universe will provide,
Mm-hmm.
they'll actually like when I watched the movie The Secret, there was a guy who was there and he talked about how he would go home, sit on the couch, and just daydream of driving his sports car, his dream car, the
Mm-hmm.
car that he wanted in life. He would close his eyes and he would just picture himself. He would picture the color, he would picture all the details. He would picture, the weather outside. If it was a convertible, him putting down the top and just driving, mountainside and just vision that.
Okay.
And he did that on the regular until he finally got the car.
Hmm.
So that in itself was controlling his dream.
Right.
He made his dream a reality. So I don't know. I don't know if it's actually that the universe actually gave him that car, or it was or if it was the fact that he kept thinking about it so much that he was obsessed with it to the point where he finally just got the car.
Right.
Either or, his dream came true.
Right. Because if you focus on something hard enough, you want it enough, you're gonna work towards that.
Right.
You're gonna take the steps. If it's like in your subconscious, you're always thinking about it, it's in the back of your mind. Whenever an opportunity arises, you're gonna choose the one that brings you closer to that dream,
Correct.
to having whatever it is, manifest in your life.
Correct. And I kind of want to say like the difference between goals and dreams is passion. Like you can have your goals,
Okay.
right? But I think your dreams you're more passionate about your dreams.
Okay.
That's why it's called the dream home, the dream life, the dream car.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that it's passionate. You're passionate about those things,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's always a positive thing. It's nothing like you can have negative goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, a negative goal is losing weight. I mean, it's positive in the sense that you're bettering yourself, but the process to lose that weight, you're gonna have a hard time.
Yes.
Not in a like I'm not saying like, oh, you failed and you quit, but let's say you start fasting. It's hard to fast. Let's say you start working out. You haven't worked out in a while. That's hard, right? Kudos
Right.
to you if you're following through, but you still got to do the work. And it's not easy. But yet, when you finally get to your goal, yeah, the outcome is positive, but the whole journey, it was challenging.
Hmm.
However, your dreams, we tend to make our dreams positive, right?
Hmm.
Like a positive outcome, where we want to go. Like, oh, my dream job. Oh, my dream home. Oh, my dream life. All that stuff is positive. It's because that's what we're passionate about, right?
Well, I'm trying to think about this whole like dream thing, and
You're thinking about it too much.
yeah, I am. I'm deep in thought over here.
That's exactly what we were talking about. You are definitely on the logical side of your life. And which is crazy because you're the one that's going further with this, thinking outside the box, being connected to social media, the business of you, advertising yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're the one that's going further with this, but yet you're still limited with the logical thinking.
I am. I'm very limited. And like I see that sometimes. I like hit roadblocks and like my own mind gets in my way.
Yes, it does. And it's always going to get in your way because that's the way you've been trained. You've been trained to be logical. So you're gonna write down, in your journal, 20 different things to talk about, but you're not gonna talk about it.
Right.
Because to talk about it, you gotta be creative. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like what we're doing right now, we are off the cuff. There's no structure, there's no outline, there's no journaling with this. Like we're just winging it.
We are.
We're just winging it. And this is definitely thinking outside the box. This is definitely thinking with the other side of the brain.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why you can't vibe with it because you have no logic to it.
Oh man. It's crazy because like I always realize that, especially when I'm arguing with somebody, like I'm a very logical person. And
Uh-huh.
I'm always looking for like the meaning in something or like, the logic behind something, but behind a choice, behind an action. And with dreaming, there's none of that.
Right. But let me ask you this. When you go out though, right, to the
Mm-hmm.
club, let's say you out in the club and the music is playing, that's not logical. I mean, there is a pattern, there's rhythm into the music, but whatever you decide to do, it's whatever your brain decides to be, that creative spark.
You see, but when I'm out and I'm dancing, I'm still thinking like, oh, what does this look like?
So you haven't truly let go.
No, I have not.
Oh, we're gonna have to work on that. We're gonna have to work on that because I'm out there and I'm just feeling the music. I'm like, look, I'm in my zone. But you know what? You know what actually helps you bring down your guard is your vices. So you have a couple of drinks in you now. You're like, I don't care.
Right.
I don't care what I'm doing now. So why is that? Why are you so concerned with being like, what's the word I'm saying? Not self-conscious, but like just it goes back to being logical. Like, why do you have to be? Is this correct? Is this right? I'm doing left foot, right foot, left foot, right. Like, why do you have to be like that? Why can't you just wing it and be comfortable with that?
I don't know why. I think if I knew why, I'd be able to turn it off.
That is true. That is true. So let's figure out how to turn it off then. I mean, we're here. We're diving into it. Let's go.
Because I
Let's
mean, this
talk
is this is
about it.
definitely something that holds me back. Like
Yeah.
there are times where like I just want to do something. I'm like, no, that's not correct. I can't do that.
Yeah, no, but I know. I seen it. I seen it with, and though you're making moves, and I commend you for that. Like you are making moves with the brand of you,
Right.
right? Go ahead, shout out. Go ahead, advertise it.
Pollen,
Yes.
POLLYNNE.
And where
I'm
can we
on
find you?
YouTube. I'm on
Uh-huh.
Rizzle. I'm on
Uh-huh.
IG. Pollen Daily on IG. And right now, my focus is confidence and clarity.
There you go.
I'm showing you how to do that through yoga.
There you go. Ooh, see, now she's getting fine-tuned with where she's going. Have you posted a YouTube video?
Nope.
Yeah, I know you fell off.
Nope.
And I'm like, yo, you're moving. It's crazy because like you're moving, but you're still moving at a like a turtle pace
Yes.
instead of just diving into it. Like you're still
I know that fear is what's holding me
I
back,
know that.
and I just don't know how to get past that.
But
Like in
it's
my mind, like I want everything to be perfect.
yes, and that's exactly what I was going to get to. It's illogical fear,
Hmm.
right? Because if you break down your fear, I mean, you're not going to get fired.
Right.
You already quit. Like you're at home, you're doing your thing. This is just whatever you're passionate about,
Uh-huh.
you're just putting it out there. Like you're putting it out there so the universe can receive it. That's it. Like that, you're in the best spot you could possibly be in right now.
Hmm.
Like there is,
I
there
damn sure
is
am, man. I come and go as I please. Like I set my own boundaries.
right. So there's no need to be fearful of rejection,
Hmm.
right? Who's gonna reject you? If they reject you in the interwebs, so what? You don't know who that guy is.
Right.
You're not getting a pink slip. You're not getting the walking papers. So what's holding you back? You. That's it.
I'm taking like baby steps. Like today I was researching like, all right, well, how am I going to do my audio? Because I realized that when I record and I'm doing yoga, I'm too far from my device.
It
So
has
that
to
can't
be
pick up the audio.
perfect. It has
So
to
I'm
be
like, all right,
perfect.
so this is how I'm going to do my audio. And I figured out how to set up my Bluetooth earbuds to record the audio as I'm creating video.
Do you know that we're on our 11th video so far and we still haven't figured out the audio? We're still trying to figure this shit out, but we're still going to keep going. We're going to keep putting content out
Yes, we're
there
putting stuff out there. We're
until
putting
it
ourselves
gets
out
right.
there.
Yeah, until it gets, until it's right. But all that stuff is going to fix itself out eventually. It's the, it's, it's your brain. That's what you got to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
It's your brain from being normal Lynn to being pollen. It's just like with anybody else, right? What's Oh yeah, okay. Here's one. I'm trying to think of like a somebody's stage name and somebody's regular name, right?
Hmm.
Marshall Mathers, right?
Okay.
He was just a guy living in Detroit, right?
Hmm.
Until he became Eminem, right?
Right.
What changed that mindset? And now look, he blew up.
Yeah.
You can do it if you just change that mindset. If you just work on controlling your dreams.
But that's the thing. I feel like I need to let go of control.
You can't. Not when you're being creative. You got to go into the chaos. You got
That's
to go
so
into
hard.
the
I like
chaos.
controlling everything. Like everything,
No,
every minute of my life. I like
you
that control.
can't. Creative people are not like that. A creator is not like that. They create and then they see where it sticks. It's
Hmm.
funny because I'm watching TikTok, right? You put me onto TikTok.
Okay.
I should curse you out for this because it's like it's so addicting. It is so addicting, and you just keep going.
Uh-huh.
Well, there's this one guy on TikTok, and I love it because he's like he does the portrayal of that he's God,
Hmm.
and he's like, we're gonna do this. Gabriel, I want this animal, right?
Hmm.
He's and one of them was like, Gabriel, I want an ant that's like a superhero. He
Hmm.
has 8 legs, super strength, super dope. But he shoots webs out of his butt. And Gabriel was like, wait, what? It's always like, he's like, what do we make a snake that has electric powers? And it's in the water. And Gabriel's always like, wait, what? Because that's how it is. It's like when you create, you just go with it, you wing it, you don't care what it is. And
Right.
you just come up with the most craziest things. Like God
Mm,
literally has an imagination with some of these animals that are on this planet.
that's true. That's very true.
So if God can make silly animals, if God can make a big giant bird that sticks his head in the ground, why can't you do your YouTube channel?
All right. All right.
I mean, think about all the stuff that's out there. God literally made an animal that its defense is to fart and make a
What
stinky
animal is
smell.
that? The
A
skunk?
skunk.
Oh my
That's my
gosh.
defense. I'm gonna fight you right now by farting. So if God has that sick sense of humor, that imagination,
Mhm.
why can't you?
Yeah,
Do you think? Look, these things are all perfect in their sense, right?
they are.
A skunk, it works for a skunk, right?
Yep.
But it doesn't make any sense to me. But I'm not God, right?
Right.
But I get it. It's thinking outside the box, you know?
Gotcha.
So what are you gonna do? What do you? I mean, and when I say you, it's not just you. I'm talking about everybody. It's myself too. It's just us, all listeners, everything. We're so worried about judgment. We're so worried about what people think. We're so worried about failing. We're so worried about winning. We're so worried about everything. And sometimes we just gotta let go
Hmm.
and just go with the flow and see where it takes us. And I guarantee, I mean, there's a lot of people who do that. There's a lot of people who get burnt out like you do.
Hmm.
They're like, you know what, forget this. I got my life savings. I'm going to cash out. And now I'm living in a van, right?
Yeah.
And they're loving it. And they're like, oh, I'm running low on funds. Let me do something so I can make money. And that's how they live out the rest of their lives.
Hmm.
They followed what what their soul calling was, and that's what you did. To a certain extent, you already
Right.
quit your job.
Hmm.
So what are you gonna do next?
I haven't really found my life calling.
I think you did.
I don't think I have.
I think you already have it. You're just holding yourself back. You have your you're like in a prison right now. Like you broke out. You know what you did? All right, I'll tell you what you did. You broke out of the prison, right? But you're still in
Uh-huh.
the yard. You get what I'm saying? Like you ended up you got out of your prison cell, right?
Right.
Like you dug the hole, you went through, or you broke through the wall, you went through the vents, right? You got out of the prison, no guards saw you, and yet you're still in the yard.
Oh my
You're like, oh
God.
shit, how did I climb over this
Fail.
10-foot? How did I climb over this 10-foot fence with barbed wire?
Oh gosh.
And you got a limited time because the guard with the rubber bullets, they're looking for you
They're
now.
coming.
They're
Yep.
looking for you. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Jeez.
And
And, like
that's
sometimes I feel like, oh, like I have too many options, and maybe that's what's keeping me from like pushing forward. But I can't even put my finger on it, like what it is that's giving me this like I have a lack of direction. I
yes,
don't know which path to
and
take.
that's okay. You don't understand. That is what you need to embrace. You got to stop being logical. You just got to feel your passion. So you like hiking, right?
I do like
How
hiking.
about the next time you go hiking, you set up the camera and you start doing a yoga video? Now you have a nice backdrop, right? And you're doing your yoga and you're in the moment. So now you are going to be feeling alive, and that energy that you feel alive, you feel at your max, you feel passionate, you feel you're embracing your energy.
Hmm.
That's going to come alive, and that's going to come through your channel.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? And there was no
yeah.
structure in that. You just went for a hike,
Right.
and then you popped out the camera. Like you
What kills
have,
me with that is like being somewhere where we do get colder weather and we have like a different, a complete change in season.
uh-huh.
Then my hesitation is like, oh, well, what am I going to do when it's cold out? Like right now, it's not warm
Then
enough for
you
me to be
go
outside in my
you
element
you go out. You
in the
don't tell
cold.
you're gonna tell me there isn't winter sports?
I guess there are. I don't want to be
So,
outside in the cold.
but yeah, but what's the best part of being outside in the cold?
Being outside.
No. I mean, yeah, you got the snow. Okay, so you got the snow-covered trees. That's cool. And
Mhm.
maybe you go skiing or something.
It's
And yeah,
quiet.
that's
There's less
great.
people around.
Yeah, and it's quiet. You're right. And if you go for a snow walk, it's very tranquil and you're very at peace. And the challenging of the cold, a lot of people like to be challenged with cold. That's why I like the cold, because it's almost like it's an awakening. It's making me feel alive, right?
Hmm.
Because it's something that's not normal.
Right.
So when I feel cold, I do feel alive. That's why I walk around without a jacket, because it's like, oh, I'm embracing this right now. It's not comfortable, but the fact that I'm owning it makes me feel alive. But for most people, what's the best part of the cold and being outside in the cold? It's
Coming back
warming up.
in.
Warming up after, yes. So why not capture yourself out there doing winter activities, and then come back in where it's nice and warm, get a nice backdrop of like a fireplace or something, and then do your yoga video. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's accepting all of any obstacles that are put in your way. It's accepting it. It's flipping the script. She's like, no. I can see the hesitation. Oh man, I can see it because you're still thinking with your logical brain. But you're in this element right now. You got two YouTube channels right now,
I do.
and you're telling to your kids every single one of them got a YouTube channel.
Yes, they do.
So you're managing like 5 YouTube channels.
Yes, I am.
You're an editor. So let's go down the titles that you have, right?
Okay.
You're a content creator,
Hmm.
you're an editor, you're a producer, right?
Yes.
You're in marketing, right? What else? You have a storefront now, right?
I do.
You're a yoga instructor. You're inspirational. What's those people who like do inspirational talks and all that? Like Tony
Life
Robbins.
coach.
Yeah, you're a life coach. Yeah,
Hmm.
you got all these titles, right? So why do you feel you're not thinking outside the box?
I just don't feel committed to any of these things. Like, like
You're just
say
going through the motion.
for example, like editing.
Mm-hmm.
I like to edit, but I
Okay.
don't want to be an editor. I don't
Uh,
want to like, put myself on like one of these platforms, like the open forums where I do like freelancing. I don't want to do it.
no, because that's the worker bee still. And eventually you are going to get an editor for all this, because the
Hmm.
second you get an editor, the more content you have going out there,
Right.
right? Because you want to focus less of your time on editing So you give your content to the editor, they make more videos, they upload it, and now you have more time to do more content. So at the end of the day, it's all about your content. So you're truly a content creator.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and create. Now, when you create, there's no logic to that. That's all just what you're feeling, what you're passionate about. That's literally dreaming.
I'm not a
Oh,
dreamer.
again, you
I'm
got
not a
stumped.
dreamer.
You are a dreamer.
Ah.
You are a dreamer. You're living the dream. You're living the dream. You quit your job. You were like, I'm done with this. I got to beat to a different drum.
Yes.
So you can't look, you know what? Shut up. You can't tell me about logic no more. You went illogical with that one. You're like, this is not the drum for me.
Oh gosh. And you know what? I tried. I stayed
Uh-huh.
there for 6 years.
Uh-huh.
And at the end of it, I was just like, this isn't for me. This isn't my calling.
Right.
This
It
isn't
wasn't
what I'm
your
meant
calling.
for.
So you wasted 6 years.
Yes.
You were just in the dark for 6 years and now you're awake.
And now I'm allowing myself to like try different things, but I have not found my calling.
So you know what you need to watch? You need to go ahead and watch was it Yes Man with Jim Carrey?
Mm-hmm.
Where he got somebody cursed him and he can't say no.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has to say yes to everything. Like he has to say yes to everything, and it's crazy. Like in that movie, he's like saying, "Hey, you want to go skydiving? Yes!" Like he can't say, he cannot say no. Like the curse will not let him say no. So he's doing so many crazy things. It's funny because like he's like anti-social. So
Mm-hmm.
some weird guy comes over. He's like, "Hey, you want to hang out with us?" And he's like, "Yes!" Like he can't. Like he has to say yes to everything. But in the end, he was better for it. Like you know why? You know why he became more sociable. Right? He started learning skills, and of course, it's like a rom-com. So he ended up getting the girl.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a message to be taken away from that. It said you just got to start saying yes. Stop saying no and start saying yes.
I feel like that's not as easy as you make it seem.
I know. I know. I
Say yes. You know
I
how long it took me to
know.
learn how to say no to people? Now you're going to say yes?
I'm not saying for you to say yes to people. That's baby steps. Baby steps. I'm an introvert and I'm antisocial. I get it. I need to be cursed with the yes man.
Which is what's crazy to me because like I'm just like a social butterfly. I like being around people. I like meeting new people. I like, getting them to like open up and like have a conversation with me. But even in that, like I haven't found like anything to pursue with it.
But that's the thing. Me and you, we're like polar opposites. That's why this show works. We're the yin and yang. Like you are the social butterfly. I'm the introvert.
Mm-hmm.
But where you care about everybody else and you care about what everybody else thinks, I'm self-centered. I'm all about me now, right? So I can go and do the crazy off thing because it makes me happy. Whereas you can't say yes to yourself. And that's the thing you have to start doing. You already said yes. You said the ultimate yes by quitting your job, right? So now what else is there? Start living your dreams. Start making your dreams a reality. And now look, I didn't want to make this episode about me coming after you. I'm in the same boat. I want to be able to control my dreams. And that's why I was like, yo, let's make this left field because, I do want to tap into that next realm, right? That whole, like, why are we here? What is the purpose? How do I control my reality?
Right.
What makes me different from, Oprah or, the next person, right? What makes me tick? And what's my limitations? What's the things that are holding me back, right? So maybe I'm speaking it now, but when I listen to the replay, I go and I take my own advice. And I sign up for that improv class, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can start thinking off my, thinking on my toes, and then also start being sociable and start talking with people and not be so introverted, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all self-reflection, but it's also letting go.